You're doing well. Welcome to the Game Week 14 deadline live stream. We have got less than 50 minutes until the deadline. It's been a bit of a mad rush trying to get this live stream together, but I'm hoping that I can be your hero, your savior in this moment just for the next half an hour. If anybody's out there right now who's panicking about their transfers, hopefully I can give you that little bit of clarity on your decisions in the final moments in the lead up to this Game Week 14 deadline, because these midweek ones are always so hard to get right. And take a look at my team, which we're going to come on to. I am planning on just riding the wave of uncertainty this week because it is going to be a nightmare for my team, and I will be showing you my team in a second, of course, as well as going through captaincy. But I'm so conscious of the lack of time right now between now and the deadline that this is just going to be a crazy Q&A. That's all it's going to be. It's just rapid fire Q&A. So if anybody has any questions right now, get them in the chat as we speak, because I've got nothing planned. I'm going to be honest with you. Been at work all day. I have literally got home, through the door, fed the dog, and I'm at my computer hoping to provide some value. So get it in the chat, guys. Any questions you have, fire them off. I want to get my team up as soon as possible as well, because we need a little bit of a reference point here. So let me just make this a little bit bigger, because as you can see, I haven't really given you the best visual right now for my team. So let's just bring it all together. I haven't even set this up, guys. I do apologize. It usually is much more professional than this. So let's leave it like that for now, and hopefully you can see my team pretty much. Let me know if it is terrible. So not the team, by the way, the actual structure. I know the team's bad. So just quickly going through my team for anybody that cares. Currently ranked 132,000 in the world right now. So in a decent spot, 5 green arrows has been a really good time. But just going to put it out there, Game Week 15 or 14 ain't going to be good for my team. So Fabianski instead of Sells, a no-brainer. Ain't Nori, Dallo, and Gabriel. I just can't bring myself to start Van der Ven. I just can't see him getting, Vandenberg. I can't see him getting anything. So I'd rather just start Dallo at the potential of him maybe getting an assist or something against this Arsenal clean sheet. So I'm just going to play Dallo and hope for the best. Midfield for Saka, Mbeumo, Palmer, and Salah. For me, captaincy is pretty clear in my mind that it is going to be Cole Palmer. I know there's a few people panicking about his game time, but for me, I'm not worried about it. I think if I was worried about Palmer's game time, I'll be worried about everybody's game time, basically. And Chelsea are in the mix, we need to remember. They're not just in a position where they're 8th in the league and they're still trying out players, kind of like Amorim right now. Chelsea are very much in the mix, even if Maresca doesn't want to mention it. And I think dropping Palmer is actually quite a big risk. So I'm absolutely content with Cole Palmer as my captain. And then the front three, João Pedro, Vissa, and Cunha. So I can't start any of these boys on the bench. Garnacho's minutes are so hard to predict. In terms of transfers, I'm obviously flying through this. Tempted by Bowen, because of course West Ham have one of the pick of the fixtures against Leicester. But again, it's all about that narrative. Van Nistelrooy's first home game. Could we see a different atmosphere at the Leicester ground? And could we see a better performance from Leicester? And also the return of Kudus. Cheaper than Bowen by far, putting up really good numbers before the suspension. I don't want to jump on Jarrod Bowen to then realise that Kudus is actually the one to go for. And I can't even trust this West Ham team right now, to be honest with you. So I have no confidence in both West Ham and Bowen to do the Garnacho to Bowen move. And I'd much rather have 2 free transfers in Game Week 15 for a bit more flexibility for my team. So that's where we're at on my team. Let's get into some of the questions. So Immortal Tretnik, hope you're doing well. Clutch Brawler is saying -4 for Mbeumo to Bowen. No, for me, it is just not a move to consider. For a free transfer, I totally understand why managers want to do it. And Mbeumo has been poor. His numbers have dropped off a cliff. I can appreciate that. But again, we only have to wind back to the start of the season where he's putting up fantastic numbers. I know they were at home, but Villa have not been good. Villa have been really poor themselves. I could see a score draw in this game easily. So I think Mbeumo to be sold for a -4, unless it's for Salah, Palmer or Saka, is just not worth it in my eyes. Abel was saying, I have both João Pedro and Matoma. Is that bad? No, Abel, I think that's absolutely fine. I think João Pedro is a little bit overhyped, I'm going to say, but I think he's a really good value forward that you're going to want long-term in your team. And Matoma is actually a brilliant differential that I think a lot of managers are going to avoid. and I think he could tick over really nicely for your team. Just be cautious. He did pick up a knock in the game in game week 13. I haven't seen anything else since then, so just assume that he is going to be available. And I think he is the main man in that attack. Welbeck and him, a bit more the senior pros. I know Matoma's still young, but in comparison to the others, I expect Matoma to step up over this period. Kevin's asking, is Saka captain an option? Have Haaland and Salah as well. Look, Kevin, honestly, how could I knock the Saka captaincy? He's been in phenomenal form this season. The thing I love about Bukayo Saka is that he has so many avenues to points, takes corners, obviously a goal threat in open play, takes penalties, and is a creative monster. So why I like Saka is because he can get points in any position. They could be 3-0 down, but all he has to do is take a corner. Whereas other players, when you captain them, the team have to perform for that player to actually get points. Not the case with Saka. So really do like Saka as a captaincy pick. Man United could have conceded a brace against Everton. So maybe we need to look at this fixture a bit more closely. But I still have Cole Palmer ahead of Saka. And my only thing I will say to you, Kevin, is if you're keeping Haaland, I'll be tempted by the captaincy on Haaland as a bit of a differential. But it depends on your rank. VM saying sell Vardial for... Depends where you want to go. If you haven't got an Arsenal defender, or just get it done, bring it in. Otherwise, you could actually play Vardial this week and then use him as a placeholder for Trent later down the line if you wanted to bring someone in like that. I have Raya, Fabianski, Gabriel Hall. Big question here. Nori, Mikalenko, Greaves, Saka, Son, Salah, Palmer, Semenyo, Cunha, Pedro, Evan Nielsen. Give me some transfer tips for the next 2 game weeks, please. We're not going to focus on the next 2 game weeks. We're just going to look at the 1 game week in isolation, which is this week. And I think your team has enough good players. I think you could play Gabriel, Mikalenko, and any one of Nori if you wanted to. Your midfield picks itself. And I think your front 3 are great. I would roll the transfer in your case 100%. Who to bench? Isak, João Pedro, or Rodgers? Currently have Rodgers bench. Yeah, so if I owned Isak at home, it's a difficult one because he said he's fit, but Eddie Howe has come out and said that, he's touch and go. We don't really know the answers to that one. I think João Pedro will start. I think Rodgers will probably start, but yeah, I probably would bench Rodgers, to be honest with you. Starting Mbeumo or McNeil, I would start. If you're going to keep Mbeumo, I probably would just start him, to be honest with you. Otherwise, I would sell him if you're considering benching him. Verbruggen or Fabianski? I would start. Let's just put the fixture up for everybody. Verbruggen or Fabianski. I like Fulham at home, so I would go for Fabianski most likely. Cheeks, I hope you're well. Love and Fantasy Football saying best Mbeumo replacement. So a lot of people going towards Jarrod Bowen. Don't mind it. Of course, the fixtures for West Ham are really, really good. Obviously, this isn't Jarrod Bowen, but the fixtures are great for Jarrod Bowen long term. However, the numbers that he puts up is okay, but I just don't really love it right now, to be honest with you. So if you want to go for a similar price point, it probably is Jarrod Bowen. If you get to an Odegaard, don't mind that either if you wanted to maybe go for a double Arsenal attack in Martin Odegaard. Otherwise, I think Semenyo is a really good pick in that Bournemouth team long term. Captain Haaland over Palmer. So if I owned Haaland right now, I would find it very difficult not to captain him, just because I'd be sat there thinking to myself, I'm paying 15 million for this forward and I'm not going to captain him at home. So what am I doing owning a 15 million pound player? Like, you have to understand, to pay 15 million for a player, he has to, like he has been over the last couple of seasons, basically your captain every single week, barring, let's say, 5 game weeks across the season, because he's playing away against the 5 best teams. Otherwise, I really think you've got to ask yourself, like, why do you have Haaland otherwise? That's the only reason why I think you have to captain Haaland. Start McNeil or Semenyo. I would go for McNeil in this case because I think Semenyo's great. I expect him to come into the team, but is there any guarantees of a full 90 minutes? That's the thing. Aiden, do I trade Son to Saka or wait because of matchups? So for me, I would just get it done. If it's a free transfer, I would just sell Son to Saka and get it done. He is too essential over this festive period. Lelex, hope you're doing well. Mansour is saying, as a Chelsea fan, I fell for Palmer will be rested in this midweek. Easier fixture, especially ahead of Spurs this weekend between Saka or Salah, which is best captain. Yeah, so it's a great point, but I still think Chelsea are in the mix we have to remember Cole Palmer. I'm just checking right now to see if there's anything out there with predicted lineups. But what I'm trying to say is, for me, I think Cole Palmer is so important in this Chelsea team. And we have to also remember he doesn't play Conference League football. So he is literally just playing the Premier League. So for me, I'll be surprised if Palmer doesn't play. Start two of Mbeumo, Semenyo and Welbeck. I would start of those. If you're going to keep Mbeumo, I probably would start him. And Welbeck away against Fulham, I don't love. I probably would go for Mbeumo and Semenyo just because I could see a potential rotation for Welbeck because I want to see Welbeck's minutes. Apologies. I do obsess over fantasy, but sometimes minutes are a bit of a tricky one. Okay, so he's played 90, 90, 85, 78. Can we see him play Thursday, Sunday as well? I don't know. I think he might not. So for that reason, I probably would bench Welbeck. I just don't see him starting this week for sure. Tor, hope you're doing well. Start Semenyo, Evan Nielsen. I would go for Evan Nielsen because I think he will start and I think he is fantastic value. Mads is saying, hello, start Lewis or Ain't Nori. Already starting Gabriel and Timber. So I think if you own Lewis, I think you've got to go for it. I think you just got to go for it and hope for the best with Rico Lewis. Obviously, you're in a situation where he could get benched, but I'm going to be honest, I don't expect anything from Ain't Nori and I'm one of those that are starting him. So I would go for Rico Lewis because I think the upside is there if Man City can get their shit together, basically. And it will come. It will happen. Nobody believes that City are just going to continue losing for the rest of the season. They'll find their mojo again, and it will happen. But when? That's the question. Best replacement for Mbeumo, 1.4 million in the bank. So it depends what price you bought him at, of course. So I can currently sell him for 7.6. So let's say you've got 9 million available. Then it all comes down to what you currently own and what you're looking to go towards. So in terms of price, I mean, Odegaard could be a fantastic differential if you want to double up on that midfield. But again, it then blocks you off at the double Arsenal defence. So just be cautious of that. Bowen, we've spoken about. I'm not as bullish. I actually just want to let game week 14 happen and then reassess in game week 15 because the fixtures are still there. But if you want to go Jared Bowen, absolutely fine. Otherwise, I can't be on Man United right now. I think we need to let the next 3 game weeks happen. So I think top bracket's Odegaard, but remember, don't block yourself out of double Arsenal defence if you want to go there. Otherwise, Bowen if you want to go early, but I don't love it. And then it comes down to people like a Semenyo long term, those sort of players. Hopefully that helped. I do apologise. I apologise if it wasn't helpful. Sell Garnacho to Rashford or Ahmad. Aiden, I would not do either right now because the fixtures are so damn bad. And I think we need to understand right now whether Rashford's back or whether Ahmad is just worth getting in at 5 million. So if I had to pick one right now, I would go to Rashford because then I can come down to Ahmad. Because if you go to Ahmad, you then can't go back up to Rashford, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Captain Haaland or Palmer, rank 580,000. Omar, holy moly. Okay, so we're in a world right now where Haaland's actually a differential captain. I'll be surprised if his ownership is over 100%. So you're right on the cusp right now where I think you could go either way. I would be tempted to go Haaland if I owned. But Omar, it's all down to you, mate, because we've seen what Man City have been like. Forest are a good team. And Palmer's playing up against Southampton. At your rank, 580k, I'd probably just go for Palmer and let Haaland be a differential in himself because I think he will still stay below 100%. Dalot to Colwell and Mbeumo to Saka and Solanke to João Pedro for a -4. Yes, I do like that long term. Start 3 from Evan Nielsen, Cunha and João Pedro, Semenyo in game week 15. We'll cover that one off in game week 15 because anything can happen between now and then. So make sure I see you on that game week 15 stream, my friend. Oliver Ray, start Rodgers or Wood. Whew. City have been bad. Forest have been good. Wood's been good. Rodgers have been bad. Just trying to process this. Rodgers got a better fixture. I got to back the home game. It's City still. I would start Rodgers. Winnie no worries at all. My dog's name Winnie, actually. Dimek saying Hall or Mikalenko. I think you've got to go Mikalenko. Hall's fixture is bad, isn't it, really? Vista to Jackson or Mbeumo to Saka. I think the priority is Saka. So I would say Mbeumo to Saka personally. Start Van Heck or Greaves. Start Van Heck or Greaves. I would go for Van Heck because I've got no certainty that Greaves actually is going to play. Who hauls more this weekend, Salah or Saka? Mansour, I would love to have the answers to that one because I would put it on the one of them if I could. So yes, I don't know the answers to that one. If I was a betting man, I would say Saka. Because I think Man United defensively are still very suspect. Start Vissa or Rodgers. I prefer Vissa. Your voice has magic. Seems like you put... Well, now that I'm married, hopefully I don't, because I would be in trouble. But thank you for the nice comment. Start Digne or Robinson. I'll tell you what. I have no idea whether Digne started the last game for Villa, and I'm a Chelsea fan. That is how bad my memory is. Okay, so Digne did start. So we assume he starts again. But I would go for Robinson. I probably would go for Robinson. Is Odegaard a good pick? I like Odegaard, but you need to remember, if you go there, it can't cover Saka. So don't be getting Odegaard thinking, you know what, I'm just going to pass on Saka and I'm going to get Odegaard. No, it's Saka and Odegaard, or that's it. That's literally your options. And also, I still think double Arsenal defence will come in clutch. So you are blocking yourself off of that if you go Odegaard. I wouldn't rush to Odegaard myself. I never feel like he's going to go big. Zeus. How are you doing today, boss? Very well, mate. Hope you are doing well. Clutch is saying, not sure who to start. Luis Diaz or Morgan Rogers? Ay. So if you own Luis Diaz, I just feel like I'd want to start him. Sensible pick Rogers for minutes, but I probably would go Diaz and just hope for the best because the Liverpool team are purring right now. My only concern is whether he starts. And I'm just going to quickly check Twitter a minute, or Dark Sky, whichever world you're in, to see if there's anything going on right now. And I don't think there is. Now, let me know. I really want to know this. Have you sold Mbeumo? I'm really interested to know this. Yes, no, or let me know the poll. What have you done with Mbeumo this week? Are you one of those that have sold him? Have you kept him? Or did you not own in general? Because I feel like this could be it. This could be the curse of the game week. I don't want to put it out there, but big sales for Mbeumo this week, and I got a sneaky feeling he might punish people. I'm just going to put it out there. I think he could come in clutch this game week, fingers crossed. Just checking to see what is on here. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I was just checking on Twitter to see if there was any info, but there's nothing really coming out of the games, and I doubt there is anyway. Yeah, guys, 52% have sold Vissa, 50% have sold Vissa, 42% have kept, 8% didn't own. So obviously I'm one of those that is going to keep, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes this week. I would keep Mbeumo unless you didn't have Salah, Saka, or Palmer. Is Saka essential? Nobody's essential, but he is seriously good value, and I find it tough not to own him. That's probably a nice way of saying yes. Vista to Jackson or Mbeumo to Saka. I think I answered this one. I would do Mbeumo to Saka as the priority move. I didn't go to Son Saka this week. Instead, I went Mbeumo to Saka and Isak to Evan Nielsen for -4. I don't know if it'll be worth it. Hopefully it is, my friend. Rate my team. Michael, I don't really do rate my teams. The only reason being is I don't really like know how to rate a team. Like, do I just say like 7 out of 10? Like things like that. So, Michael, I'm going to leave it, but I can see you've got a solid team. Good balance of price points in different areas. So, I think you're going to look good this week. Good players. Ben, should I stick with Matoma? Does it look like he will play? I would keep him because even if he doesn't play this week, I think he looks great from game week 15 onwards. Oscar, hi natural mate. Who would you sell? Kanate for Joe Gomez or Colwell? Now, this is a tricky one because I really don't rate the Chelsea defence, especially with the injury to Fofana. We don't know the extent of it. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty right now about them. But Joe Gomez just doesn't really excite me that much. But both are centre-backs, and I prefer the Liverpool defence. So for that, I'm going to have to say Joe Gomez. The only thing I will say is maybe just see if you want to consider a plan for Trent in the future. I think there's a lot of people tempted by it. And I'm not saying it's a desperate move, but just make sure Gomez isn't your third Liverpool pick. That's all. Captain Saka, Salah or Odegaard, I'd rank those as Saka 1, Salah 2, Odegaard 3. But I've got the voice on Salah just because if I'm going to voice somebody, I just know Salah's going to play solid minutes. The bloke's made of steel. He's made of steel. You know he's going to play pretty much every minute against Newcastle away. Thoughts once Wolves fixtures turn on selling Aït-Nouri, Rodgers and Lavia? Ken, you own Lavia, my friend. I wouldn't be bringing Enzo in, Ken, at all. Enzo not a consideration for the team. Varun saying, Mbeumo and Wood to Matoma and Cunha for a -4. Don't love it. Don't love it for a -4 at all. Yeah. I'm biased because I'm keeping Mbeumo. I have the exact potential to do Mbeumo to Semenyo or Bowen, and I'm happy just to roll this week. Reassess the West Ham team. Kudu's coming back from suspension. If West Ham get pumped, Lopetegui could get sacked. So much uncertainty right now about West Ham and Bowen. I'm happy to wait. However, would I be surprised if Bowen scored? No. All these things could happen. They were saying Rodgers or Johnson to start. I would probably go for Rodgers because I just don't know whether Johnson starts with Kulusevski coming back in. Hey, a new watcher. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. I'm considering Solanke hold or hit to Jackson/Isak. So I don't love the hit to Jackson. I don't love the hit to Isak because we don't know if he's going to play. And I don't love it to Jackson. I'll just hope Solanke plays and reassess probably. Mohammed, sell Wood to João Pedro with -4 or play Semenyo. I would play Semenyo 100%. Shane saying Garnacho to Semenyo and Anderson to Trent. I mean, I cannot argue those moves at all, Shane. I love those moves. Potential moves that I might be making in game week 15 as well, or game week 16, depending on how the chips fall. And just a heads up, we've got less than an hour now. No. Wait. We've got less than half an hour till the deadline. Holy moly. Okay, so yeah, we got not a lot of time. And I'm devastated because I actually do need to annoyingly jump off onto a TikTok live now. I'm just going to make sure everything's set in place for my team. And make sure there's no news right now. But my team, as you can see on the screens, I'm just going to read it out to hold you all accountable in case I mess up. So it's bad. Fabianski away against Leicester. Aït-Nouri, Dallo, Gabriel. Let me quickly check because I'm going to be a little bit selfish on this poll. I'm going to be a little bit selfish. Take the opportunity while I have all you beautiful people on the stream. Who would you start? Because Aït-Nouri and Gabriel just have to start. It's the third defender for me. Dallo or VD. I'm going to put VDB, which is Vandenberg. Who would you start? I'm going Dallo. Who would you start? And remember, I own Saka. So that whole Harry Potter philosophy where it's like one can't live while the other survives sort of thing is relevant here with Dallo and bloody Saka. So let me know in the poll which one you prefer. Should I start Mateta or Pedro Neto? Ooh, some tasty differentials there. Probably go Mateta. I liked Palace against Newcastle. I thought they were good. Kanate replacement, Scott. Difficult with a price point. If you haven't got Arsenal, priority. If you need to go really cheap, if you need to go cheap, then I would be considering maybe going down to maybe a Van Heck at Brighton. Otherwise, could you use those funds to maybe get yourself all the way up to Trent long term? Those are the few avenues I would consider. Description in funky ways is saying, would I change that lineup? And probably wouldn't. I would just be a little bit cautious of having Lewis on the bench, because I would say if you own him, why not starting him, basically. Should I start Strand Larson or Matoma? I would start probably Strand Larson, controversially. Strand Larson. Doing very well. Who would you be your top 1 week punt this week? I have 4 free transfers, but no major issues. Well, of course, if you have no major issues, it is still dependent on who you want to sell. Because I could sit here and say to you the best 1 week punt is Watkins, for example. But if you don't have a forward that you want to sell, then it's a little bit difficult. I mean, for a 1 game week punt outside of the all obvious popular picks, talk about populars. Anyone watch Wicked? Loved the movie. As a 1 week punt, it's got to be a home game. Probably would be Watkins as a 1 week punt. A little bit of redemption for his miss against Chelsea. The other 1 week punt probably would be, I don't really know. Probably would be Watkins. Starting Mbeumo or Brennan Johnson. Probably Mbeumo. I'm going to be honest. Probably still Mbeumo. Haaland, Havertz, Mbeumo, Vandenberg, Porro to Jackson, João Pedro, Salah, Gabriel and Trent for a -4. Yeah, I probably would for a -4. Some good players coming in. Yeah, I probably would, mate. Probably would. Should I start Timber or Van Heck? It's got to be Timber. It's got to be the Arsenal boys. Kinder Bueno or Pedro Porro? Pedro Parra? Not sure what that is, Adam. Wood or Semenyo? I would go Semenyo, probably. Just. Fabianski versus Leicester or Sells versus Man City? Tom, my friend. I'm in that exact same boat. And I'm going Fabianski. Just has to be Fabianski, doesn't it? I know it's Man City and they're poor right now, but it's still Man City. Right. Guys, I really apologise. I gotta go. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel. It'd be awesome to have you on board. We're aiming to hit, whisper it, 19k by Christmas Day. We're about 70 off. I mean, if you're watching this right now and you got nothing going on your Tuesday evening, it'd be awesome if I could have your attention over Christmas and click that subscribe button. It'd be amazing to have you on board because there's a lot of content coming. I think tomorrow is probably the one day I'm not doing content. So tomorrow I'll be off radar. Every other day will be content. So thanks so much for tuning in. I got to quickly jump on a TikTok live. Jump on that if you are into that. Have a great game week. And this is my team locked in. Captaincy on Palmer, Vice on Salah. Going to be a red arrow. The dream of 6 green arrows is going to be over, but it is what it is, as they say. Have a good one, guys. Take care. I'll see you